Shah had a great question about what kind of reward do you give those who do rise up in leadership in your community? I have some thoughts, but do you want to start, Laura?
I would love to. I think it can vary. I don't necessarily think you have to pay them, although I am going to mention that. But a lot of times, depending on what your community is for, your members may want to have some promotion, for example. So if they host a roundtable in your community, maybe you could have the people who hosted that roundtable, you take on the onus of putting together some kind of a PDF or some kind of a document that they can then share with their community, and you're passing it along in your social channels to give them that thought leadership badge. Goodness, I was recognized in the such and such community for my work leading a roundtable, and here's this guide that we published. So you can think about promotion. You can think about maybe an extra call, maybe the folks who are alumni or like small group leaders, you invite them to a smaller once a month ambassador call where you really give them a lot of value and help them feel connected as a group. You could even pay a few of them to serve as actual and official members. So I'm not sure if that helps. Should I give you a few ideas? Yes, no.
And I'll add to that some examples of what we did in the past. So a couple non-financial rewards that you can leverage for leadership development. One is recognition. And so this can include gamification, but generally what I mean by recognition is either it can be as simple as identifying and stating what someone did. Hey, let me find another. Tanya, thank you so much for showing up on this call. We really appreciate your presence. It can be that simple, all the way to they get like a specific title over a certain amount of time that comes with certain perks. The second is ritual, and this is one of my favorites, especially because I led a community for 5 years. We were able to establish some really fun rituals within the community. And a ritual can also be, it doesn't have to always happen like every year, every month. It can be a one-time thing, but some examples are for our in-person event, we had this like golden scroll that we would like really dramatically roll out across the stage, and anyone who'd done hit a certain action had put their hand in gold paint and put it on the scroll. And it was like this big cultic experience. Online, virtually, we would come up with these fun activations where like we would pretend to pass a torch like from one screen to the next. So we would tell the person like, oh, we can't wait to celebrate like what you did this last month. So pretend, get a flashlight, and we're going to move it from our screen to your screen. So there's just fun little rituals that you can do to recognize people. The exclusive one-on-one time that Laura mentioned, perks, swag, product, exclusive access to a product. So if you're a brand, that's easy. Even if you're like a content creator, you can give only certain people access to maybe like a limited course or maybe like a high level like ticket item they can only even get after they've hit a certain bar in your community. So tons of really fun. There's so many fun things you can do to reward your leaders that don't have to be paying them. Obviously, with certain actions, you do want to compensate, but there's lots of things you can do before that.
I agree with everything both of you have said. And I also want to just add on to that is to not underestimate people's willingness to be mentors, especially in more like vulnerable settings that maybe aren't necessarily like your community is building out businesses and things like that. If it's more intimate conversation and things like that, empowering them again with more one-on-one conversations to empower them as a mentor type role, people really like to help other people. So I just would say keep that in mind as well.